Trump's trillionaires forever. We're Trump's trillionaires forever. We're Trump's trillionaires forever. Trump helps us steal from you.
Full of energy and irony, this comedy performance in front of Jeff Bezos' house in Washington is proof that American democracy is not dead.
Long live Trump! Tax cuts for the most wealthy will come at the expense of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and environmental protections, and this is a sacrifice we are willing for everyone else to make.
Mac was also at Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' house to immortalize one of many protests that are taking place in the Capitol, combining his passion for vintage photography with his activism against Trump.
I photographed the resistance, something that I could do. So now I'm going to go in here and develop it. The project for me started in here, and it was a very nonverbal thing. It's not something that I thought about and decided I wanted to do. It's more I listened and responded.
With their free time and experience in past struggles, pensioners are joining this new fight.
This is the box where I am keeping the plates for this project that I'm calling the Turbulence. Last month, there was a Tesla takedown, of which there are plenty. So I made a few images of those. And here are the demonstrators. You can see the traffic is moving, the long exposure. I did not ask them to stop and pose for me.
The Attorney General, appointed by Trump, has described these actions against Tesla as acts of terrorism.
Peaceful demonstrations on public property, that has always been legal in this country. And the idea that it would possibly be turned illegal, I can't see it happening.
This fascist regime must go. It must be stopped, and it must be stopped the way that rising dictators...
Meanwhile, outside the White House, there's a surprising mix of tourists, Trump opposers, and supporters of the new president. The world of MAGA, Make America Great Again, is settling in for the next 4 years. The press briefing room is the eye of the storm in the Trump tornado. Since January, the tone here has changed. Some are no longer afraid to express their beliefs during correspondent briefings, like 23-year-old Jordan.
My name's Jordan Conradson. I'm the White House correspondent for the Gateway Pundit.
It's a new media.
Yes, and we're in the new media.
What kind of media?
We're mostly print, but we do some video stuff. Can we do this later by chance? 'Cause I gotta finish this up. Yeah, sorry.
The site that he works for clearly takes a pro-Trump stance. The White House favors this new media that contributed to the Republican victory. A full press briefing room, listening to 27-year-old Caroline Levitt.
Everyone's so excited to cover this administration, it seems. There's a lot more happening.
President Trump is turning America into a manufacturing superpower again.
A lot more good news.
Once again, the president is fulfilling another key promise.
Yeah, I would say it's a new era.
With all of this work being done to make America great again, we continue to see a positive response from the American public. This is the Trump effect. Bye, guys.
I think that we're definitely seeing more voices and opinions in the room, but these same, CNNs of the world, the MSNBCs, they're still pushing the same propaganda that Trump's evil, Trump's a Nazi, Trump's all these things, the same thing they've been saying for the last 4 years.
Voice of America are among the targeted media. On the 15th of March, their employees were placed on forced leave. Trump wants to dismantle a symbol of American democracy, the International Broadcasting Bureau, a space for free speech in many countries.
Government officials have forbidden journalists from reporting and broadcasting the news. Since VOA went on the air in 1942, dictators and autocrats have desired our demise. Who could have imagined in 2025 that the White House would cheer VOA's destruction, calling it the voice of radical America?
The resistance movement is mainly organized by Reporters Without Borders and lawyers.
Today, it's off. It's black. Our goal is to turn Voice of America on.
This is their first success. On the 22nd of April, a federal judge ordered broadcasting to resume, but the government has appealed. The fight goes on to defend these basic principles.
It's very clear that the overall goal for this administration is to narrow the space for free speech and to control the flow of information. The reason they don't like journalists is because journalists stubbornly don't just parrot whatever the White House wants them to say. They speak independently, they cover critically, and this administration has no tolerance for that kind of criticism.
What we're experiencing in this case is a tragedy for democracy. And I am proud to represent my clients in this case, as I would in any other case, but I'm especially proud in this case.
My name is Farkhunda Paimani, and I'm a journalist at Voice of America's Afghan service.
We all come to VOA to work, to be the voice for the voiceless, which sounds like a cliche, but I think with VOA and our audience, it really isn't. We are often the only source of credible, independent news.
When your constitutional rights are violated, you go to the court and you tell them about it.
This is very American.
Yes. I'm an optimist.
With the government fanning flames on all sides, the justice system seems more effective than a purely political fight. Meanwhile, the foot soldiers of Trumpism are settling into new areas of the city, like this pub, where journalist Jordan Conradson likes to go after the White House press briefings.
We've been open for 6 months, and it was we opened before the elections, and then the current administration won, and now their entire cabinet and everybody that works for them is here.
Before, they were sort of outsiders. They didn't really have anywhere to feel like they could dress up and go out. You know, there was Trump Tower and things like that, but that was pretty much, yeah. This administration is really, I think, doing a good job of establishing itself as a cultural affect, and I think a place like this is a good example of how that can look.
Any sane person wouldn't want to live in a city like Washington, D.C., where the crime rate is insane. There's homeless people everywhere. I mean, we just saw them outside. You know, Trump's just like most Americans, even though he's a billionaire. You look at him, he likes sports, he likes things that Americans like, McDonald's. And I don't know, the people out here, they're just very pretentious and phony and kind of stuck up and acting in a way that is very out of touch with America.
In contrast to this version of America that MAGA cherishes lies the reality of Washington, a capital city of 700,000 people, most of which are black and Latino. On the 16th of April, the black community celebrated the city's Emancipation Day. But Trump insists that he will put an end to Washington's autonomy.
I think that the reason why Donald Trump doesn't like D.C. is because D.C. decidedly doesn't like Donald Trump. You know, what you're standing in is the heart of a liberal, progressive stronghold, sanctuary city, a city that values and respects the dignity of all peoples. That's not in philosophical alignment with him.
The Ward 4 neighborhood shows the divide between the rest of the city and the center, where the Republican power lies. Terrence is in a local community group. During the elections in November 2024, 92.5% of the city's votes were in favor of the Democrat candidate, Kamala Harris.
I feel revenge. Because of him being president now, he's talking about cutting $1 billion out of DC's budget. That's going to affect everyone directly right here in Ward 4, but not just Ward 4, all of DC. Folks right here in Ward 4 will be affected right away because he's trying to cut things like child care programs and cut things like Medicaid. About 85% of this area is on Medicaid. If he cuts that program, what would folks do for health?
8 kilometers away is the National Mall, with the museums that contribute to Washington's reputation. The avenue is imperial and majestic, an aesthetic valued by Justin Shubo. a cultural advisor close to Trump. The MAGA offensive also extends to architecture.
When you're here, you really get a sense of great power and timelessness, that this is a city inspired by ancient Rome, meant to be a new Rome, a timeless republic that shall never die. So this building is the Hirshhorn Museum. It's a museum of contemporary art. The building is brutalist in style. You can see it has raw concrete exterior. And to my view, in my mind, it looks like an alien structure with a gun slit, like you can imagine a machine gun gunning down soldiers at the Normandy beach. So here we have a building I love. It's the National Gallery of Art. And as you can see, it's a magnificent classical building. If you ask ordinary Americans, they love this building. They don't care that it was built completed in 1941. They are happy that there is this gorgeous classical building in Washington, which fits in with the classical nature of the city.
The public prefer this to brutalism, is how he justifies regaining control of the city. In his sight, the FBI headquarters, completed in 1975, must be demolished under Trump's presidency.
I hate this building. It is an inhuman, brutalist design. I think it is terrifying in a certain way, and I like to call it the Ministry of Fear. I don't think Trump is embarrassed to associate America with the architecture of ancient Greece or Rome. He does see the future as an opportunity for greatness, and therefore looks to the past to see how we should build for the future.
In 100 days at the White House, this hyperactive power charging ahead like an unrelenting bulldozer has left many reeling. An opposing force exists, despite being systematically attacked by Donald Trump. American democracy withstood his first term. But in 2025, he controls the Senate too. The offensive is stronger, faster, and more unsettling.